Let's talk about sunscreen and how it pairs with Estee Lauder Doublewear Foundation. I am barefaced right now. I have just washed my face. Normally I would go in with this moisturizer, Cicapaste Balm B5. Many of you have purchased this, seeing it in my other video, and I have heard back from some of you, and some of you can't make it work, saying it's too thick. It is very thick. Try just dotting on the most minimal amount that you can, just teeny tiny dots, and spreading it out, and then using a second layer. And if that doesn't work and you really just don't like it, do not despair. Definitely keep it. It's great for any time you might get, heaven forbid, a sunburn or something like that, or you just have a really itchy spot like itchy elbows or really dry shins like in the winter time. Hang on to it. It is a great heavy duty moisturizer for other places in your body too, not just your face. Instead of using this one today though, I am going to go in with my Nude Sticks moisturizer. I like this one too. This is another heavy duty one for no other reason than it just smells really nice. It has a yuzu smell, which is a citrus kind of smell. It doesn't really do anything that this one doesn't, but if you're into citrus aromatherapy, you might like this one. I'll put a link to it down below in the description box. So you can make moisturizer work with sunscreen, but maybe you don't need it. I think if you're oily and you're using a sunscreen that is meant for face, maybe, and I don't have oily skin, so I can't thoroughly speak to this, but maybe you don't need to put moisturizer on underneath sunscreen. Maybe the sunscreen plus the foundation is enough. I don't know. You guys will let me know in the comments, right? So once I put in my moisturizer, really I think the key to my success is that I do let it really sink in and become part of my skin before I will go in with sunscreen. And in this case, I'll be using Super Defense City Block. I have another sunscreen that I actually prefer, but I'm not going to use it in this one because it's just a lot harder to find and it's very expensive. This one is expensive too, don't get me wrong, but being that this is a Clinique product, it is very easy to get a hold of if for some reason you want this specific one. This is an SPF 50 and it is a mix of mineral and chemical sunscreen ingredients. Now on both of my bottles of my favorite sunscreens, it says to moisturize or do your skin care first. And then after that it's absorbed, then put on your sunscreen. And that was the same advice whether it was a mineral foundation, which is my Darphin Entral, and whether it was this chemical / mineral foundation. So moisturize first. While this is absorbing, I'm gonna go and get myself a coffee. Be right back. Okay, so as I went to pick up my coffee, I also grabbed the Darphin Entral so I could just show it to you guys. I will find it from somewhere and put a link down below if you're really curious about this one. It's an SPF 50, really high quality, gives you a really dewy complexion underneath makeup, but again, very expensive and a little bit hard to find. Right, so that's in. There's no more absorbing that can do right now. So when it comes to sunscreen, I'm sure you guys have seen this trick, or if you haven't, I guess I'm about to show you. You use 2 fingers worth. So you put a line on this finger, then you put a line on this finger, and that should be enough. And if it's not, of course, you just go back in. So in my Get It to Glow video, where I talk about how to get Estee Lauder Doublewear Foundation to glow, I did not put on sunscreen in that video, and I cannot remember why. Probably because I was not anticipating being out very much that day. SPF Doublewear Foundation has an SPF of 10. I found this out actually using the UK website. I think Harrods will show you that. It is actually an SPF 10 in it, even though it is not marketed as such in the Americas. As far as I know, that could have to do with regulatory reasons, or maybe SPF 10 is too low of a claim. Some of you with maybe a cosmetic chemistry or just have gone to the nerd level about sunscreens can let us know below why that is. But it does have a bit of sunscreen. Not that that is an excuse not to put on SPF. I just, for whatever reason, didn't that day when I chose to film. But anytime that it's sunny, anytime that I'm going to be outside, as I will be today because it's a beautiful day here, I definitely wear SPF and I encourage you to do so. Do as I say, not as I do. This Clinique Super Defense City Block is pretty good. I don't know if I would purchase it again. It actually came as a bonus with Clinique's. They have like a dark spot interrupter serum that I purchased, and so it came as a bonus with that. And I cannot say that I'm hooked, but I am going to use it up now that I have it. It is expensive and it's tinted and it seems to work well. I was wearing this on my Miami trip and I never got really any color on my face at all when I was there, so it must be pretty effective. It is SPF 50, but by all means, if you have one you like better, I'm not going to decry this is the best ever sunscreen. It is not, but it is adequate. This one, by contrast, oh my goodness, I love this one. I do have a video, and I think I must have a video of me putting this on somewhere, maybe a short. I'll definitely link that up if I can find it. So once the sunscreen is on, My favorite thing to do is just, of course, make sure that it's well absorbed and just to let it settle. I know not everybody has the time to just take little breaks between when they're doing their makeup routine and skincare. I do have a little bit of extra time to be able to do that, so I find that if I wait increments of at least 5 minutes, that seems to be fine, and then I work that in with the rest of the things that I'm doing in my morning schedule. You know what I mean? Like, I have to take a pill at a certain time, so then like after I put this on right now, I'm gonna go take the pill. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, but I find that if I really want it to last all day, I do need to wait for it to absorb in between layers. All right, I'm back. It's makeup time now. So I'm just gonna dot some on. You guys know me. I like to go in with just the most lightest of light layers first, and I will build if I need to. And I like to use fingers, even with sunscreen underneath. I still like to use my fingers. That is why I find it quite vital to wait for the sunscreen and the moisturizer underneath that to both absorb separately. And there's no problem sliding this around. There's a good amount of slide because of the sunscreen underneath. That is just the thinnest of thin layers, and that is how I like it. And I will build using a second layer. And as I build, I will try and get this dark vein that is here, and I will try and hit this hyperpigmentation red spot in my neck. There we go. That really covered it up quite well for a little tiny dot of foundation. This one is a bit more stubborn to cover because it's so dark. I usually am trying for 2 thin layers. I think that works best. A key to not getting it too cakey looking is to really not use too much around here. Although I don't have too bad crow's feet, but if I did have crow's feet, it might settle in. And not to use too much on the forehead. So the forehead and the nose, you kind of just want to not use too much. And then the place I mostly concentrate on, and I'm not a makeup artist, this is just how I do it, is here and here. That is the place where I'm not afraid to have a bit more on the go. I dot them here, I can really work them out. I like to spread them outwards. I learned this technique from the makeup artist Lisa Eldridge, who, okay, just a tiny bit more, who for me has been like a YouTube makeup icon. She knows everything there is to know about makeup. She's amazing. If you don't follow her, if you don't watch her, check her out. She has the most soothing English accent, and she's just an absolute font of knowledge and a true artist, an expert in her field. And she has a makeup line, and I've never purchased anything from the makeup line just because I don't need anything right now. So maybe the next time I'm looking for a foundation or a lipstick, I may purchase from her. If for nothing else, just to give back, because she's just provided me with so much infotainment over the years. I would like to support her. All right, so that's the foundation done. I shall carry on with the rest of the makeup routine. All right, it's been a couple minutes. This is the level of dewiness that is verging on unacceptable for me. It's almost too dewy, which is actually kind of impressive if you think about the fact that I'm 47 and my skin is quite dry underneath all of this stuff. So what I like to do in these situations is just tamp down a bit in the old T-zone with a brush that has some foundation on it. I haven't cleaned it yet. I do clean my brushes regularly, but I was using this yesterday with a different foundation. So that little bit of foundation left in the brushes, in the bristles, will actually pick up a bit of the shine and tamp it down just a little bit because, yeah, and it won't get more shiny really throughout the day. So yeah, you'll see that has, I think, left it dewy without looking greasy. My favorite blush at the moment is this Tiger Lily Queen. I can't remember if I used this in my last video about Estee Lauder Doublewear Foundation. This is called Nudies Bloom, and it is a frankly horrendous looking peach color looked at in the tube, but when you put it on, it is just so pretty, but I don't apply directly to the face because it has a bit of a clownish effect. I apply it to my hand, and that seems to warm it up nicely. I really like Nude Sticks products. They are a Canadian company, but they're available everywhere, I'm pretty sure. And they make a lot of really innovative stuff while still maintaining a niche profile in the makeup space. But I've never tried something I didn't like from Nude Sticks. I have a real tendency to go crazy on the blush. I love a lot of blush, but I'm trying to keep it light. I'm actually going to Pilates after this. So yes, I am the person who wears a face of makeup to Pilates. I don't really sweat in that class. I don't really sweat, so I'm not afraid to put on a regular face of makeup when I go there. And now I know that during the walk there, my face will be nice and protected from the sun. My neck and down is another issue. I won't use this because it's tinted, and sometimes I wear white and I don't want it getting on my clothes. I have just like a regular SPF 50 or 60 that I will put here before I walk out, and on my hands and on the exposed parts of my body, but primarily on my neck gets the most sun exposure. It just gets hit there by the sun a lot. If you found any part of this useful or you just want to say thanks, consider giving me a like and subscribing. When you subscribe, I know that this is the type of video that you're interested in, and I'll know to make more of these. All right, I hope you had fun with me. I hope this was a nice chill talk together. It's early in the morning. I'm a bit sleepier, so my energy not as peppy as it might be in the middle of the afternoon. But again, just to recap quickly, I used the Nude Sticks. This was Citrusy Mask and Daily Moisturizer with Yuzu and Turmeric. I'm not sure if I said that. I think I just skimmed through that quickly. Then I let that absorb, and then I went in with the Clinique Super Defense City Block SPF 50. And then, of course, my Estee Lauder Doublewear Foundation in shade 2C3 Fresco. And that is what I have on. A little bit of eyeshadow, tiny little bit of mascara, and finally in with my Nudies Bloom Tiger Lily Queen blush. That was the last thing, and that's all I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. That is the look for the day. Just a nice, light, quick makeup look with plenty of sunscreen to protect me from the sun's rays today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.